Yo, so I'm just giving an update on my situation. So as you can see in my previous videos, I have came to these theories and conclusions about certain things and about who and what. And turns out all that shit is true. So Ruslan, the guy I suspected of doing all this shit, he came and talked to me yesterday, and like, he knows, I know that he knows that I know that he knows he's responsible for all this shit. And maybe just him, maybe more people, but bottom line is, you don't see, like, you don't, basically, I explained, and when I was talking to him, I was telling him all of the things I was going through from over the past year, and he knew exactly what I was talking about because he was either doing it or he was calling the shots. He knows exactly what I was talking about. All the stuff I was talking about, everything I done been through, he knows exactly what it is. And he was super nervous. He didn't want to stay on that subject because he's guilty, he's a criminal, he's a fraud, he's an international criminal. He is a terrorist. Like, the dude is a terrorist. Anybody who knows me, anybody and everybody who knows me knows for sure I would never let myself end up in a position of being homeless and living in my car. My family would never do that to me. My friends know me. They know they would never do that. On that note, so, you guys heard my song Crazy, how I'm talking about best friend said I changed, but I'm knowing what's up. It's not you, it's not what you do. So the friend I was actually talking about, I saw him yesterday. I seen him disguised as another person. Like, I didn't even know it was him. So like, I just approached these people. They're smoking weed, right? They're smoking weed in the car. I approach them. I didn't know who they were. I figured they're, just like the rest of these people around here, right? So I approach them as they're letting the hot box out of their car, and I'm like, oh shit! I was just joking, right? I was like, hey, that's a crime, letting weed, just joking, making a joke, friendly. And then they got hella nervous. Like, you could tell in their body language and their voice, like, they're nervous. He's like like one of those nervous laughs, like, and then when he gave me that nervous laugh, I immediately realized who he is. I was like, oh my god, you literally changed. I didn't say that to him, I didn't say anything to him, but I literally looked at him. I'm like, what the hell? Like, and then one of the people with him I also recognized. I'm like, what the hell? So if the real people that look like the real people aren't the real people, but then you got these other people, these alternative people that look exactly like the real people, like, basically the only explanation is I'm right, because like, there's just no way you meet all the criteria except for the physical look, but you meet all the criteria of a person I know, you're that person. And then the person that I know that looks like the person I know but meets none of the other criteria besides the look, it's obvious that you're not him. So basically, that's what I experienced yesterday, and it kind of proved all of my theories. And yeah, Ruslan, man, that dude was like nervous. He was on his last attempt, because they switch bodies and shit too. Like, they'll look like this person and they'll look like that person, and they'll use these disguises. I don't know how they're doing this shit. Like, I don't know if it's surgery. I don't know if they're straight up, like, literally not human and they can change shape. I don't know. Or just these crazy disguises. But that's an update on that situation. And yeah, that dude, I'm definitely right about that, because he didn't want to acknowledge, because he's a smart guy, right? But he didn't want to acknowledge anything I was saying. Nothing. He didn't want to acknowledge any of what I was saying, but he showed all the traits of lying and knowing exactly what I'm talking about. And he basically screwed me over on an just a crazy, I can't talk. Basically screwed me over. So yeah, so I'm right about this. And I don't know what the powers that be are trying to do. And I know also too, this was the private sector. This wasn't like military or government. This is like private sector. This is like the Illuminati, like the secret networks that do this shit. Like, this isn't like regular people. These are like the people, the high society people, or the people that are high in society, but the way they get there is through basically fraud. Like complete fraud, defrauding everybody. Like the general population is their food. Like, and then on top of this, knowing what I know now, thinking back in my life, all the way back to like being a teenager, I can easily see that a lot of people that were in my life that I thought were friends were never my friends. Like, they were only in my life for fraud. Like, it's all about social security numbers, apparently. I guess it's really that easy. I don't know, because I've never done it, and I've never really looked into how to defraud the system, but it must be that easy, and I think everybody's doing it. And like, it basically screwed me over because, and like, you know, the person who was doing this, or the person who screwed me over, basically bribed or so there's bribe, blackmail, and misinformation. Those are the three things that they use to control people. So they could blackmail somebody. Like, so if someone did something really wrong, or they have, you know, certain sexual desires, whatever it may be, and they know that, they can use that against people to control them. Two is, so what was that? There's blackmail, bribe. If they're not buying it, or there's nothing that they can hold on blackmail, then they'll just bribe them. Hey, I'll pay you to do this. I'll pay you to provide misinformation. I'll pay you for this. I'll pay you for that. That's another one. And then there's just misinformation. There's just people who are going to do the right thing, or what they think is the right thing, and they're maybe easily gullible. Maybe kind of how I used to be a little bit, because I wouldn't be in the situation had I had this knowledge now that I, you know, a couple years ago, but, or even longer than that. But yeah, misinformation. And these are the three things that they use to control people. Also, another thing is, your smartphone is like basically an open spy device, right? So I believe, and I don't know this, I have no proof, I have no nothing, but I honestly believe, like, if you have a smartphone, like, I don't know if it's by default, I don't know if it's on certain things, but I honestly believe, like, this party of people are like spying on people, on everybody, basically. Anybody they can get on blackmail, they're gonna get them. You know, they're gonna scare them. For example, let's just say there's like a drug dealer, a street drug dealer or something, and he's like living a regular life. This is an example. Living a regular life, but he's also a drug dealer or something. Like, these people will go after someone like this guy to use him for whatever they want to use him for, and then they'll use that against him as blackmail. And then it's like a control thing. And I could be wrong, but I mean, it makes so much sense. It makes way too much sense. And so, like, everybody who turned against me, family, friends, everybody, they were either blackmailed or bribed or misinformed, because, like, they have the ability to do anything. They can literally, like, make up any evidence they want, like, literally anything. They can literally create a video from nothing, or from something that makes it look like this person or that person. Like, they can literally do anything. If you understand, like, these tools they have, they can literally do anything. So, like, and he just basically confirmed all of my suspicions, because, you know, when you're thrown into this situation that I'm in, you have one option: figure out what the fuck is going on. You know, it's the only option. And with being isolated and, you know, limited tools, or no tool, they have spy tools. They have all types of gadgets. They have shit you wouldn't even believe exists. But all I have is me and a laptop. And basically, I have two options. I have to do my own investigation, and I'm either right or I'm crazy. And those are the only two options I have. I know I'm not crazy, so I'm right. And basically, like, yeah, there's just been all these people tied to strings, just lying and trying to, you know, incriminate me or whatever they're trying to do, some type of collusion. And basically everybody I know has a new face. So and then like, it's like this, right? So if everybody has a new face, right, if everybody is changing their face, right, and it's nothing wrong with it, that could be like, hey, yo, Derek, yo, it's me, you know, Tony, it's me, hey, I'm your friend. Oh, damn, what'd you do? Oh, yeah, I got a new look, man. Yeah, it's everyone's doing it, man. That would be the case if they weren't doing anything wrong, right? But clearly they're doing everything wrong because they're acting like they don't know me, and everybody's changing their face. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm literally isolated. Like, I don't know anybody here. Or actually, I do know people here, but they're pretending like they don't know me, or pretending like whatever. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah, that's the update on that. Yeah. That shit, those YouTube videos, it's real. It's not fake. It's not made up. It's real shit. Like, I'm telling you. And then, like, some of these people too, like, I'm really curious. Like, I want to know your side of the story, right? So when I see somebody I used to know, or one of my friends who have a new face, like, I want to know your side of the story, right? Like, I want to be like, yo, why did you change your whole appearance? And what's going on? Like, why'd you do this? Especially people I know would never do this shit. Like, there's a reason they do this. Like, especially, like, people I know, like my friends. She'll be like, yo, what are you doing? What's going on here? Like, it's not you. Did you get blackmailed? What? You know what I mean? So, obviously there's something wrong, because this shit doesn't happen. It's not normal. You don't just all of a sudden, like, everybody in your cities look different, and then every female's a tranny. Like, that's not normal. That doesn't just happen overnight. But anyways, yeah, I basically got straight screwed over, and I had to do my own investigation. I came to my conclusion. My conclusion appears to be correct. And they're all bad. All bad. All these guys are bad guys. They're all, like, whether they know it or not, you know, because, like, the thing is, like, people are good, right? For the, like, most part, like, by default, right? People are good. Like, people have good hearts. People are going to do the right thing by default. But when they're influenced and controlled by misinformation, doing the right thing to them is actually the complete opposite. Like, you know, we got children, right? We got children combating climate change when it's not even fucking real. They think they're doing the right thing, right? These are good kids. They think they're just doing the right thing when really they're just being controlled, like, for propaganda. Things like that. And it's the same on all levels. Like, people are good by default, but when they don't know how to think for themselves, or they don't know the difference between good and bad, then they're going to go off what they're told to do. And that's kind of like the system we live in. It's not about being smart. It's not about thinking. It's just about being obedient. And when you're being obedient to a leader who is corrupt, then it's not good. But they don't know that. People don't know that. Like, regular people don't know this. So that's why it's very important to, like, if we want to make America great again, we have to have good leaders. Period. We can't have all these secrets and these drug deals and these back doors and this fraud and robbing and stealing and misinformation. You know why China? Like, I had someone was telling me how like China, like they're like blocked off to the world. They block all the American shit. You know, it makes sense because they probably give a shit about their people, and we're just feeding propaganda, right? Like from the US, fake news, propaganda, and they actually give a shit. They're like, no, we don't want our people to be influenced by this fake shit. That's definitely a possibility, right? Like, we have to look at the whys and the hows of things. You know, I always look at the whys and the hows. Like, okay, I understand what's going on. Why is it going on? Oh, I know why it's going on too. How are they doing this? You know, like that's how I work. I need to know the hows and the whys. So when you think about things and you can only come to a number of conclusions, that narrows it down. You got to come to the hows and the whys. So, what was my last thing I was just talking about? Yeah, people are good. People are good by default. But it's propaganda and influence that aren't good. Fake news, and it's not good. And these programs aren't good, basically. These programs essentially turn humans, regular people who have consciousness, basically turn them into like computers or robots. Literally, like that's basically what these programs do in propaganda. They turn humans into robots. Like, yeah, we're biological, but it's just like our brains and our habits and everything are like, it's like a robot. It's more like a computer. Like, it's like programming, you know. And we're all in the shit. Even me, like, we're all part of a program, or we have programming, you know. But I just wanted to give a little quick update on this. I think it's Thursday or it's Friday. It's Friday. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day, and stay woke.